And what did you look at?
Every bead is shaped like a little tulip. So they're the tulips she gave me.
They're beautiful. They're wonderful.
I know.
Obviously,
She said, no, but I shouldn't, because this is special, because she said they were sent with heaven. Well, I was in Dublin in 2000, February 2000, to see the bishop about getting the nihil obstat for the book. And while I was there, I was asked to speak at Kimmage Manor. Now, I think you might know Kimmage Manor is a large seminary in Dublin. It used to be the Holy Ghost Fathers. I think they're called Spiritans now. But I was asked to speak there, and I was very nervous about going there because seminaries, priests, they know a lot more than I do. So I was nervous about going there to speak. So just before I left the Visionaries' home that evening, the visionary said to me, "You must speak about the rosary beads," because I'd been saying nothing about them. I knew what happened to the last lot, so I was saying nothing. But I was told I must speak about them because they were a grace granted. So I took the beads out of the pouch and said, "These." And immediately the whole room was flooded with the perfume, incense and roses. So they were scented with heaven. And they gave me the boost of confidence I needed to go and speak at Kimmage that night.
Is that where it began, you know, that you're talking to different
That's where
parishes?
Yes, to talking to different places. That was where it started. But then while I was doing the work, I hadn't heard about Our Lady of Medjugorje before this. And it was only when I started doing this work that someone mentioned to me about Our Lady appearing in Medjugorje also. And that one of the messages had been asked that we fast 2 days a week on bread and water. Now, I always found it difficult to fast on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. I love food. Food was a hobby. I loved cooking it and I loved eating it. As you can see, I have full evidence of that. I don't lose any weight, unfortunately. Keep asking her, but it doesn't happen at the moment. However, I'd heard about this and I said, well, I'll try and see what I could do. If I could try it, I would try to do it 2 days a week on bread and water. I started doing it. I found it too easy. So I added the third day to it. I did Monday, Wednesday and Friday on bread and water. And I found that too easy. I thought, this is the total. So I decided just to have water Monday, Wednesday and Friday. That was fine. And I was giving myself a lovely pat on the back, thinking I was wonderful doing this. I know, it had nothing to do with me at all. It was all grace granted, because I couldn't have done it without it. However, that was fine. It was at that stage then that the only way it had to have been inspired by heaven, because I knew nothing about St. Louis Maria de Montfort or his writings at that time. I didn't know, and all I knew was I was to do this consecration to Jesus through Mary, the Louis de Montfort consecration. And I knew nothing about it. What do I do? How do I go about it? What is it? And so I kept on asking everyone I met, do you know anything about this consecration? What do I do? Eventually someone turned up with a little book. It's a little book, 33 days of prayer with the consecration at the end of it. And I immediately started it. And as I just started the first couple of days, I was into it and I thought, well, no, I should be doing something more to prepare for this consecration. So I decided I would just have water just for the week in preparation. As I was getting ready to go to Mass on the first day in the morning, the only way I can describe it is the voice in my heart. I know the voice, but that's the only way I can describe it. I was told the Eucharist would sustain me. Well, I accepted that and I thought, well, okay, that's fine. I won't suffer any ill effects for the week. I thought it was still just for the week, and that was okay. But gradually as the week went on, I felt that it wasn't going to stop. It wasn't to stop. And at that stage, I was telling myself mentally to take a step back. I'd never heard of anyone living on the Eucharist before, and I thought you die if you don't eat, because hunger strikers, they died. So, you know, this is crazy. I thought I was getting a little over-religious, a little overzealous. But at the same time, although I was telling myself to take a step back mentally, I had such a profound peace in my heart, I cannot explain. It was so profound. It was something I never felt. And I decided, okay, I would ask, because I knew there was more to this than I understood. So I asked the Visionary in Dublin to ask our Blessed Mother, what would she like me to do? And the message I got back was, I give you all you need. I nourish you with my son's body and blood. Is there any more you need than me? Trust me. So I did.
And when was that?
That was in, that was September, September, October, sort of beginning of September. The consecration.
What year was that?
It was in 1999.
99.
99.
So you haven't had food from 99 to...
There was once when I failed, and I will tell you about that. So I will tell you about that. But again,
But
essentially,
you haven't had
no.
food from 99
No.
to now.
No.
Now people, as I say, would be sceptic of that because,
Absolutely.
as I say, especially in Belgium, hunger strikers, as you rightly said, and
Yeah.
dying, that no one... What about liquids, for instance?
There again, I was still drinking water at that stage until about 6 months later.
So you don't drink water either?
No.
I mean, you don't take food
No.
or water,
No.
except
Eucharist and the precious
Eucharist
blood.
under both species,
Yes. Yes.
and that's
That
sustains you all.
totally,
I mean,
yes.
again, I mean, I know Thomas Gallagher, as you would well know, a great friend of mine, and I know you've done the walk to knock with him on many's a year, and I know Anne-Marie, and no one has ever seen you taking food. No one has ever seen you, and you have never been out of their sight.
No.
It's just a mystery, and it mystifies people.
Nothing's impossible for God. That's all.
Mhm.
He created us. Can He not do as He wishes?
And you lose no weight either.
No. that's the one thing that I keep asking about. But then again, it would take away from the miracle.
And it is a phenomenal miracle. I mean, I don't want to go into this because
No,
I mean,
it's not. But this is not what it's about. The
It's not
grace
what
was
it's really about,
granted.
but
No.
it'll astound people. I
Yes.
mean, that you haven't eaten for nearly 9 years, and you haven't took liquids in 8.5 years, and you know what I mean. You're still alive and well, and
Very healthy.
very healthy.
Very healthy.
The once you said,
Yeah.
will you come? What happened there?
Well, as I say, first of all, as I said, this is what I was given. I was told. So I carried on, not having the food. I was still drinking water. After I got that message, I continued, and then I was still drinking water at that stage. But gradually, I was drinking less and less, and even the medication I had to take for my blood pressure and asthma, that I was forgetting completely about altogether. And I would go all day without having any water or without having any medication. And this was about 6 months later. I realised I didn't need it. I didn't need it. So I stopped having it. It was at that stage I was given another message. I was told, you can eat if you wish, you can drink if you wish, but you do not need it to sustain life. All you need to sustain life is the Eucharist and the precious blood. And that grace will never be taken away. But the grace is granted as a witness to my message of mercy. And that's what it's about.
It's about the message, and
yes.
this is just,
Yes.
as I say...
This is just as a sign.
But it's a great miracle.
It is,
I mean,
it is wonderful, yes,
It's
it is, yeah.
astounding
Yeah.
almost.
But now,
you know.
the time I failed, Easter 2000, now, my friend who has been received into the church at Easter 2000, she asked me to come to be with her, to be her sponsor, as she was being received into the church. And she sent 2 tickets, one for me and one for my friend Pamela. She sent us tickets to go there because I don't have funds independently without working. Things were very difficult at times. So she sent the tickets for us. We went there, and while we were there, I was speaking to different people about Our Lady's message as well. But then on Easter Sunday, when she was being received into the church, this was a very special day, and Easter 2000, the millennium, I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. My priest in Whitstable, where I live, he's always telling us on feast days that, you know, we've had this spiritual celebration now at Mass. I do hope you're going to go home and have some material celebration. He means us to have a nice glass of wine and a nice meal. And I thought, well, Easter is the greatest celebration of the year. I can have something to eat. This is special. Easter 2000 as well. I said, I can have something to eat. This was the first Easter after I started living on the Eucharist as well. So, I mean, it was particularly special. And my friend from the Caribbean, and she was cooking all this lovely food. It smelled absolutely delicious. So I said to her, look, I'm not going to eat during the day, but midnight tonight, I'm going to have something to eat. I'm going to have a meal. You keep me a little of everything you're cooking today. I'm going to eat it. So that was fine. She did. She kept it. Midnight that night, I sat down at the table. It was like feeding time at the zoo. They were all sitting around the table watching every mouthful. I didn't care. I thoroughly enjoyed that meal. It was absolutely delicious. And I can even to this day taste the ice cream I finished it with. It was beautiful. But again, that was fine. I didn't think about it. It wasn't until some few years later that a priest first mentioned it to me when I'd spoken to her about it, and then the doctor confirmed it. I should have been very ill after that meal. I wasn't. They said the doctor said I should have been hospitalised. I would have not have to eating for so long and then eating a full meal. I should have been very ill.
That's right. I read there a lot, the concentration camps when we were coming in, and the people who hadn't had, and were malnourished. I mean, even a small, they had to get them back on the food for a period
but no,
of time.
So I believe our Blessed Mother allowed me to have that meal that night. But where I failed, I got greedy. Because on the Monday I said, well, we're still in the octave of Easter. I can have a little bit to eat. And again on the Tuesday, the same thing. But then on the Wednesday, my friend was having some people in, because Our Lady's given us a prayer format for prayer groups called the Cantons of Our Lady Queen of the Home. And I was going to go through this prayer format with some people, from friends of my friend. So I said, well, I won't have anything to eat during the day. But my friend prepared a lovely buffet table for after the prayers. And I was really looking forward to what was on that table. My favourite dishes were on that table. And I was really looking forward to it. So we had our prayers. At the end of the prayers, Our Lady asks us to ask her through the book how we're doing spiritually. Well, I opened the book for everybody else. So when it came to my turn, there was a nun there. I handed the book to her and I said, you open it for me, sister. Well, I keep telling Our Blessed Mother she could have had better timing.
Can't trust them nuns at all.
Well, she could have waited another day. But the message I got back, the pearl of the message, because Our Lady says this in this book, she gives us on this page she calls the pearl. And then the rest of the message is on the page opposite. But the pearl of that message that evening was, renew your resolutions and begin again. That tells it all, doesn't it? But the whole message reads, my child, even though the temptations are too strong and you fail, which I had, strength will be given to you to renew your resolutions and begin again. It is in the battle a soldier must not desert. So too you must continue for my love. This is the greatest of all gallantry, that one should lay down his life for those whom he loves. Prove your love. Be prepared no matter the wounds. Look to the true life, the life that has my love as its goal, and do not accept any other. My little one, you will fight and be brave to the end.
It's amazing.
So no buffet.
How has your health been? And actually, you're saying your health has improved from the
Absolutely. Well, I don't need any medication now. I did have very high blood pressure. I had severe asthma. I don't need any medication now.